Well, I'm trying to beat the sun, so I'm gonna kind of go fast. But I got a couple of little packages from Temu. And I do know what this one is, and I had bought one for my daughter. And she almost knocked the camera over. She just jumped down. And I'm really unhappy. Well, I'm just not, I thought it was a mug, like a big oversized mug, but it's not. So, let's see here. And it's pretty, but would make a great gift. And there's my pea, and the colors are great, and it's blue on the inside. So I really like it. But I'm trying to beat the sun before it starts coming through the blinds. And we have them set, and I don't want to mess them up. So let's see what Temu sent us, because I never remember. Oh, it's some decoration, it's some Christmas decoration that look, I didn't look at the dimensions, so I'm not even going to complain. But I didn't want to spend a lot of money anyway. Remember, stack your dollars. So it's cute. Look at that, the little spiral Christmas tree. And that one's really nice, and I love the gold. This can go on a coffee table or on an end table or in an arrangement on the dining room table. So I like a lot. So how's everybody doing today? Huh? Today's Thursday. This is my lineup. I like 911 and I like Grey's Anatomy, so I'll be watching stuff until 10 o'clock. And they brought that, I don't know his name, that doctor with the green eyes, they brought him back. So I can sit there and drool over him. And go through the, if I were younger, if I were this, if I were that. I think this is some garland. And like I said, some of this stuff I'm going to use for Christmas, and it's very, very inexpensive. It is garland, and it is plastic. But I think it'll work. And it wasn't expensive. You know, you got to fluff it out and everything, but that's going to work. That'll work like a champ. Put that over here. Let's see what else we got. They sure can get a lot of things in a bag. Oh, and at genealogy, I think that tracking your ancestors, I think this is important for my kids because I really don't have a lot of stuff for them. And I think they're going to want to have some answers to some things, so thought I'd do that. And I think you've seen this, and I love this. Oh, and I have some pumpkins outside, some metal ones that were kind of pricey for me that I got oh, I can't show you this. But anyway. I have to put it together. And it says grateful, thankful, and blessed. So I have to do this. And that's not a big deal. Give me something to do. And I ordered, oops, I think I showed this to you yesterday. I ordered some more. Those are picks, and it has berries on it. Oh, and I got all kinds of napkins. Look at these. This one says, Merry Christmas. Isn't that pretty colors? Beautiful colors. And this is one that I would just use in the bathroom. And this one says Season's Greetings. I think there's 40 in each one of these. This one seems like a little different quality, but it's okay. So let's see what else we have. So what have y'all been doing today? What did you do up until today? Oh, I love this already. I see a turkey. Placemat. I need to order some more. Isn't that cute? Isn't that darling? I absolutely love it. Now we are going to have not a great big over-the-top Thanksgiving dinner, but I think it's important that we do celebrate Thanksgiving and be thankful for what we do have and invite some people over, you know, who don't have families or whatever. And I'm going to donate to, I can't think of her kitchen, somebody pantry here, that she donates meals, you know, to people. So I'm going to donate. I asked my daughter, should I donate money or food? She said, I think you should donate the money. And she said they do the food, and they have a lot of people, stores and stuff that donate food, and they give money for incidentals and stuff like that. So anyway, but I think Thanksgiving is good for everybody. I think that we need to take that time and stop, and even though things are not perfect right now, be thankful for your health, your family, your job, the love you have, just being here, and for God's grace, and, you know, just be thankful. And be thankful that we can still get on here and talk. So, I had a couple of stories to tell you, but I lost my paper that I had written it on. What is wrong with me? Well, anyway, one of the stories was my boss and I, when he was bored, I guess, he'd come by on Saturday and he'd say, let's go and collect rent. So he had a lot of rentals, you know, and we would go, and a lot of times he'd have a drink or two, and by the time we finished, I mean, he'd be smashed, or back then, as they used to call it, snockered or whatever. But it was fun. And I think I told you about the little boy that we went one time, and these people owed him some money, and he went to collect the money, and the little boy came to the door, and my boss used to buy those Jones boots, if you know anything about boots. Jones used to make Lyndon B. Johnson's boots. And Dolph paid $700, $800, $900 for pairs of boots. But anyway, he had his boots and his cowboy hat on and everything. And The little boy, it was a little black boy, and the little boy came to the door, and it was a screen door, and he said, "Mama, Mama, come quick. It's a real cowboy." And when he said that, Dolph said, whatever they owe, they don't have to pay it. He, and did his hat, and he said, "Because this is a real cowboy." So I thought that was kind of cute. Too bad some of the other parents didn't know that trick. But, so anyway, we collect this money, and this is the late 80s, early 90s. And we would collect maybe $5,000, $6,000. And he'd say, "Do you want to keep it until Monday?" And I said, "No, I don't want to keep it. I don't, I don't want nobody breaking in on me, whatever." So we went to the bank, and he said, "Do you remember the account number?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And he said, "What's the number?" So he looks in the back, and he finds this paper bag, brown paper bag, big paper bag that we were still getting groceries in. And he tears it off, tears a portion off of it, and he says, "Deposit to account number, blah, 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 Dolph Rental," whatever. And he dated it, and he signed it. And I don't know where he got this paper clip, but it was a huge, all of this was in his truck. And this money we had was 20, not very many hundreds, 20s, 50s, to add up to what we had. And he put the paper clip on it, and he put this brown deposit slip on it, and he put it in the night deposit. So that Monday morning, I forgot how many lines we had on the phone, maybe 8, 9, 10. Every one of them was lit up. And it was the bank, and it was the bank president. And he said, "Tell Dolph Moten," and I didn't mean to say his last name, "to get here as fast as he can." And so when he went down there, I guess, when you put the money in, it was a tumbler back then. I don't know what it is now. I think it's a chute or something. Anyway, when it tumbled, it popped that paper clip off. And they said money was everywhere, just everywhere. And so when they all walked in, it was like all the employees, and the president was like, "Nobody move. Nobody moved. Nobody moved. Nobody touched nothing." He didn't even look at anything. And he said, "This has to be Dolph. Call Dolph right now." So Dolph went down there, and he got a good chewing out. And he said, "What's so funny about this is," and everybody thought it was hilarious, that he knew right away that in our town, 70-something thousand people combined, our two towns, there was only one person that would probably do something like that. So anyway, I thought that was a really funny story. And the other funny story, and there's nothing in the news, thank God. I mean, not nothing in the news. There's nothing that I saw that I wanted to talk to you about, and there goes that sun. I think y'all are kind of all caught up. And did I see somewhere that the Academy Awards they're going to be like in a week or so, or did I see the wrong thing? I thought they were always in the spring, like March, April or March. Anyway, I probably heard wrong. Oh, did I tell you I bought some hearing aids? Well, I saw this thing that said, I also bought those glasses. They've been advertising on TV that changes your vision and you'll never have to go back to an optometrist again. Don't buy them. It's a scam. It is a scam. The glasses do absolutely nothing. Don't, and they make it seem so real, but it don't do it. Well, I also bought these hearing aids. And I can hear, but I can't turn the volume down. They were $100. Everything is loud and loud and monotonous. Anyway, I can't turn them down, so that's funny. My daughter said, Mom, please, would you stop? Would you just stop? So the other thing I was going to tell you about. So when I started working in for my boss, right? Everybody that did business with him, except for the customers, were Texans. And so they all had their Texas way of talking. And it was very new to me because I had just arrived from Germany via Seattle, and I didn't know anything about Texas, anyway. So my boss said, and he had it really bad, I mean, if you want to say it was bad, but he was a real Texan. So he said, I want you to write a note, and I want you to remember to tell Wes. He said, tell Wes to check the stars, and he'll know what you're talking about because he just put them in, or something like that. So I wrote down, tell Wes to check the stars, S-T-A-R-S, right? So later on, I'm sitting there, and his wife comes in, and she's standing behind me. And she said, what is this, Pat? She said, tell Wes to check the stars. And I said, that's what Dolph said. He said, tell him to check the stars. I said, and I don't know how Wes could check the stars. I mean, stars are the same. And she said, you have got to learn to talk Texan. He meant stairs. He didn't. So that was a joke around, when they would have their Chamber of Commerce meetings and stuff, and they'd say, what dumb thing did Pat do or say now? So that was one of them. And I want to talk to you about my daughter. I have a daughter that's in radio, and today she's getting, an award for Hall of Fame. She's been in radio 20 years or more, and she's done real good. She goes by the name of Dee Dee McGuire, and she's being inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame, and I'm so proud of her and so honored. And I'll tell you just one little story about her too. I should have known that she would end up talking a lot for a living because she talked a lot when she was young, and she asked a lot of questions. And so one day I had worked really, really long hours at the post office, maybe 10. And I came home and I was really tired. And I had to make dinner and do whatever, for 5 kids. And of course, the babysitter, and that's a story I need to tell you about one day too. The babysitter hadn't done anything that day. So I was kind of strung out, I guess that's the right word to use. And so she was walking behind me, and she just had questions for everything. And what did And I try to answer, and I had just about had enough. I couldn't take anymore. And the other kids were running through screaming, and the boys had taken a white head off of a Barbie and put a black head on it, and the other daughter was screaming at him about the doll, and it was just too much. And she looks up at me and she said, what does God eat? And for a fleeting moment, I'm like, why is this child asking me, what does God eat? Now remember, I'm stressed out, hey, And I looked at her, and I must have looked like Paul Bunyan to her, and I said, he eats little girls that ask a lot of questions. Oh my God, her face crumbled, and I was like, you got to fix this, you got to fix this. So I stopped, and I sat down, and I held her, and I talked to her, and I told her, no, he doesn't. I'm not sure what God eats, but no, he doesn't eat little girls that ask a lot of questions, and, smoothed it over and everything. But that's kind of harsh, but it's also a lesson for parents, when you're in a hurry and you're stressed out, and maybe it's not the best time to have a conversation with your kids about certain things, just wait until a better time. And perhaps, you know, of course I know I should have handled it differently, but anyway, it didn't stop her. After that, she had more questions and more. And guess what? It just never, it never stopped. And so she's getting paid now to ask all those questions and to keep that banter up. But anyway, congratulations, Dee Dee McGuire. I'm so proud of you. And can't wait for tomorrow to be over. Jesus, I bought $60-something worth of candy today for these kids. I mean, last year I think we had like maybe 100. And I think I told you somebody brought kids over like, I mean, I guess it's okay. They brought like a van. They were in a van and maybe 10 kids jumped out, you know. So maybe the one parent says, okay, I'll take them. But I think if you have to, well, they don't live around here because we don't have a lot of kids in this neighborhood. You know, it's like a retired neighborhood almost, you know. So anyway, that's all I got today. And I'm going to, I don't know how to splice things together, but anyway, I'll show you the decorations that I did put up today. I mean, I did try to do a little fall. And maybe tonight when everything's lit up, I'll take another picture for you, okay? And show me what you did. You know, sometimes, and I do it because, you know how you get in a rut and you're like, oh, I don't want to, I don't. But if you force yourself, you know, to do something, you feel a little bit better and a little more in tune with what's going on. And it's just, it's good for you. It's good for you. And it might get you out that rut. Anyway, thank you, honeybees. And thank you for your comments. And keep them coming. Keep them coming. Bye, guys. Love you. I know you want me to find that little remote. I'm going to find it. I promise.